Hi, hello. Welcome to the commentary for Tenacious D versus Ninja Sex Party. This is an episode, an idea that I've had in my head for a very long time, and getting to basically putting into fruition through my dumb little internet show is super fun. I touched on it a little bit in the episode, a little bit, like the whole thing. I hope is apparent, but like these two bands mean a lot to me personally. Uh, like Jack and Kyle and Dan and Brian are all some of my just main, not even main, just like some of my bigger influences in how I write and perform music. More so Tenacious D than NSP, but I do like respect the fuck out of NSP, and I definitely had a big phase at the beginning of my teen years where I just listened to a lot of their stuff nonstop, and then that was around the time Cool Patrol was coming out, so I was super into that. I'm still super into their music, and they're doing great stuff. Tenacious D though, I got into them around the same time, but my love has only grown the more I learn about them, and just the more I experience and like try to understand their songwriting, and because it's so unique and interesting, as well as just being generally funny. Like all four of these guys are super hilarious too, and that's like they're like things where like the hardest thing to do is to be a musician and to be a comedian, and all four of these guys just excel in that regard. Because like not only do you have to just be like being a musician is hard enough, but like, being a comedic musician means you have to be a good comedian too, which is insanely hard as well. And people like don't understand like just the insane amount of just skill these guys have, and then it's up to me to like be like, how do I explain like just the sheer tenacity, pun intended, of like these guys' skill, and just like, oh yeah, that's how you do it. You just it's kind of it's kind of like the dissecting the frog approach a little bit, but I don't care. That's kind of what analyzing music is. Also, I should talk about these covers I did. I did like I think around 20 covers for this one episode. I used 8 of them total in the analysis portions. Right now is the first one. This is the Kickapoo cover. Yeah, 4 per each. I believe for Tenacious D it was Kickapoo, then Beelzebos, then Death Star, then the post-apocalypto main theme to end it. Also, like going through like Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny is also one of my favorite movies. So getting to like go through this shit is super fun for me. Like what other versus series is gonna fucking talk about Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny is all I'm saying. Speaking of, this is a versus series. Like it's gonna be continuing after this. Like, and I feel like you should talk about that because this is a very unorthodox episode to start off the season with. And like you may be asking, like, this is like the fighting in this is basically like a non-fight. Like nothing, like no technical fighting happens between the two. And like I joke about that at the end. Like, wouldn't it be funny if like Brian just fucking like kicked Kyle Gass's ass? Like, yeah, it'd be funny, but like that's not what I want to do with these. I feel weird calling them characters because it is like Kyle Gass and Jack Black at the end of the day. But I talk about it in this analysis how like the Paul F. Tompkins. What? I like the running gag of the Versus Universe narrator who is like a separate character from me at this point. I feel just being like, what and gross. Those are his 2 catchphrases. What and gross. What was I talking about? God, I cannot remember now. Fuck, man. I was like talking about shit, and like completely derailed by the Paul Tompkins bit. Can't believe I cut out the Ben Stiller cameo. That would have been like, it's one of my favorite things about Tenacious D movie too. Is like it's fucking loaded with cameos for no reason. There's Ben Stiller, there's Amy Poehler, Paul F. Tompkins, just so many of them. I don't show Amy Poehler either. Oh yeah, I only bring up Paul F. Tompkins so I can make this joke that Paul F. Tompkins is Satan / Dave Grohl. Yeah, for anybody who didn't know, and is a fan of rock and roll, Dave Grohl, drummer of Nirvana, lead singer, writer for Foo Fighters, that's him under heavy makeup as Satan at the end of this. And you can kind of tell by the way he fucking plays those drums, like, holy shit. He also guest starred on the vocals for that song, which is the instrumental playing right now. It's Beelzebub. It's one of my favorite songs Tenacious D has ever done. Wait, fucking play the audio, idiot. It's totally not gonna get this video flagged. It might get this fucking commentary flagged too. I don't know. But God, I should also touch on like the length of this thing, because I swear to God, I did not plan for it to be longer than most of season 1. I swear to God. It's just the more I do this, the more I like, oh my God, we're getting to the fucking, oh my God, it's me in real life. I don't know what that white frame was. I think that was the fading effect I had in Sunny Vegas. The thing I'm wearing on my wrist right there, that's a wrist brace. I just wore it because my wrist was feeling bad from doing stuff, not masturbating. I use my wrist for like everything, so like it gets hard. It gets hard. Come on, really? it gets damaged very easily, and I used to play drums a lot back in high school, so I have like difficulties in both hands at times. Like today I had it, so I try to wear my wrist brace whenever I can. Yeah. And like introducing this idea of like clones, I don't even know where this technically came from in my head. I think I just thought it'd be funny just to be like, hey, what if I clone myself and put myself in the real world? I don't know how that would work, but I did it. Tribute too. So there's technically 5 songs in the Tenacious D analysis, because I completely forgot about Tribute. And then just playing Beelzebub because I love getting copyright strikes. I fucking love it. It's my kink. Oh, this bit. I love this bit too. Just like fucking like trying to find a way to frame myself against the guitar and play it. I think it's funnier with the piano and Tenacious in the fucking NSP section because of the fucking glass shattering sound effect I did, because like you can't see it, but to the immediate right of me from this point of view is like my bed. So I have like a soft area where I can just throw stuff onto without a problem. And so that's where the piano went when I threw it, and I can like throw stuff violently in that direction without too much of a hassle unless I hit my wall. So I can just do whatever I want. And like I set the guitar down there, but I could have thrown it. But at the same time, I trust myself less to throw a guitar than I do to throw a piano. But that guitar is also kind of a piece of shit. So is the piano that I showed off. The guitar I showed off, I'll kill you. The guitar I showed off is like a really old acoustic guitar that I got from my dad, who just did not want it because it sucked. Talk about the HBO show, God, it's so nice to just be able to share this shit with people, because like I think about these things. Didn't they do that already? I'm just laughing at my own jokes. I guess it's good because like it shows that like I'm funny. But like this is probably the most comedic an episode will get, I think. Just given the subject matter, like basically the fact that I'm taking these analyses so seriously is part of the joke, and like going into the Tenacious D timeline is kind of like a joke in and of itself. And like the way I try to like joke about the jokes a little bit in NSP segment. It's kind of why I don't like it as much as the Tenacious D analysis, because like I just feel like I'm forcing myself to like make jokes. Whereas in this segment, I feel like I'm kind of more natural, and like I'm just flowing in and out of like facts and joking about those facts, because like that's where the bread and butter is of these analyses. Is just like finding the facts that you can joke about, and then like saying stuff in a weird way, or like finding a weird synonym to call it. Like in the 6969, I'm like, so they look for the cock geriatrics. I mean the dick elders. That's a reference to the "you fucking dick." It's a reference to inward singing, one of the more famous skits from the band. Famously retold on Game Grumps. I forgot that I edited this like this. This is interesting. I I chose this footage because I want to explain something for the non-Tenacious D fans in the audience. So they have this song called Master Exploder, and Master Exploder is a song from the movie that is basically unless they had like specific like guitar pedals and stuff, it was pretty impossible for them to play live for everybody. And that live footage from that stadium is them playing it live for real instead of playing it, because they usually play it to a backing track and like joke about like, damn, that was the best performance ever. Like that's what they do. In that footage, they are literally playing the entire song, I think for the first time ever, live, with no backing track at all, and it was awesome. It was so cool. So yeah, that's the story of why I chose that footage specifically, because it's an interesting little piece of history that happened very recently. Because that song's from 2006. You have to realize that like we're going in chronological order here, basically, except for the beginning. So right now, we're in 2012 with Tenacious D. We just went from 2001 to 2012, and we're about to go from 2012 to what is essentially 2018, but might as well be the present. Cause God, Post-Apocalypto came out 4 years ago. I'm feeling old, but it's weirdly enough, like everybody who like every parody that's in Post-Apocalypto has like stayed relevant. I think because of COVID, really. I love the way Jack draws these. I love the. By the way, for those of you who don't know, that is Jack. Jack draws, or drew, I should say, every frame in Post-Apocalypto by hand. So give it up for Jack Black, everybody, for doing this. Give it up for me to. So another factoid about Post-Apocalypto is every other frame. This was before the Twitter thing too. Like, holy shit! Yeah, it was. I'm high on the Elon is a shit stain opinion. But I need everybody to know, every other frame of Post-Apocalypto has a fucking penis or vagina in it, to the point where there's literal sex happening within the story multiple times, and it got shown on YouTube. But YouTube allowed it because A, it's Jack motherfucking Black, and 2, it was classified as a music video, which allows nudity. So they were just allowed to draw sex scenes and put them on YouTube, even though nobody else would have. Like the thing behind the cave bear woman there, that's a huge penis. I tried to crop it out as much as I could with the shots, but like, yeah, I don't know how well of a job I did. But, like, I just didn't want this video to get like super demonetized. Also, I know I have like younger people in the audience that showing genitalia could get a little iffy. So I try not to do it. Hot take: I try not to show genitalia. Showing in the background right now is the Post-Apocalypto main theme. It's very short, but it's very sweet. You know, it's I feel like it could be described as the whole album. I remember I was so excited for the Post-Apocalypto album, but like over 2/3 of that albums is ballads, and it doesn't hit as hard as the other D albums in my opinion. I love it for what it is, but I love the other three D albums way more. And like if I were to rank them, I think it would be my number one is Pick of Destiny. My number two is the self-titled 2001 release, and then my third favorite is Rise of the Phoenix. But they're all 10 out of 10s for me. And Post Apocalypse is like an 8 out of 10.
D stands for defense.
It's just joking about like, you probably been thinking this in the back of your head. What the fuck does the D stand for? You've given me so many facts about these fuckers. I expect to know at least that, and like I deliver in the very end. Because I think that's from a Wired interview they did during press for Post Apocalypto. Masterpiece. Because they did a ton of press for Post Apocalypto, including a really not infamous, but about as infamous as every single Hot Ones interview is. They did a Hot Ones interview. So now we're in NSP, and it was a challenge to write this analysis because I really didn't know how to start. I didn't know how to structure it, and I was like really confused on how to like actually make this happen, really. And like describe it. I feel like sometimes I go into describing jokes, and like describing the joke kind of kills it. Like everybody knows that, but I try not to like overstay my welcome if I can. Like let the jokes speak for themselves. Just basically explaining the characteristics of the band, and like how Dan and Brian interact with each other. Like, I think this was the first time ever that I literally had to, like, structure out, like, paragraph by paragraph what I was going to write about in the analysis. And I've started to do that ever since with a spoiler alert. I've done that with Dunban and Oren. Not only to, like, make the scripts a little stronger, but also to add parallels between the analyses, which I always like doing. Because if you can parallel analyses in their structure, because the characters are similar enough, which if you're doing like a versus series, if you're like fully editing a video, fully getting like voice actors, if you're getting animation for it, I don't. But if you were to do that, I feel like you would have to have like at least a bit of similarities between the characters, and not like completely completely fuck up the connection side of the versus thing. But like, at the same time, this is like this is like the most I will go away from traditional verses, I feel, except for the finale, which even then I'm not sure of this year. The finale of this year of this season, it's not gonna be by this year. Holy shit! I'd have to crank out fucking 7 more episodes in 1 month. No, I'm good. I should probably go into pre-production for this too, because this entered pre-production while Joker Giorno was in pre-production. In around April, I started planning for season 2, and the first thing I did for this episode was I made the Attitude Civvy cover, and that's why the analysis ends with the Attitude Civvy cover, because I was like, it's like a little memento of where this whole journey started. So like this whole thing started with Ninja Sex Party, and it kind of ended, for me at least, with Tenacious D. So that's kind of like where I'm looking at it from, because the D analysis came together quite quickly. NSP analysis did not. I feel like I went to it was hard to write this. It wasn't too hard to edit this because thankfully all NSP media is available online and easy to download. D media, not so much. Post-Apocalypto was weirdly enough, it's only on YouTube, but it was fucking hard to fucking get footage for. And the rest of it was pretty simple though. Just finding Blu-rays and ripping them, really. Blu-rays and DVDs. Yeah. So I started in April with Attitude City. Started with that cover. I think after that I did Dragon Slayer. And then from there I just kind of started doing it like on and off. until this episode released in October. Uh, and I wanted to make it a point to where I would, I wanted to first thing I wanted to do was I wanted to finish the covers to like be as mentally in the space of DNSP as I possibly can. Then I would write the fight. Then I would write the songs to the fight, and then I would write the analyses. So these analyses came together a lot later in the process than they normally would, because sometimes you just have an idea for a fight that you need to write down, and it's you like check it with your friends, and they feel like, oh, this is good. I enjoy this. But we'll get into the fight later when it actually happens. But yeah, oh, here it is. Here it is. One of my favorite bits. No, on Versus Universe. And a little what? That's from Joker Giorno. It became a little in joke with my friend group that that the what I do as Joker in that episode is just very funny. So like I do like what like that. Talking about Twerp now. Yeah. You should definitely check out Twerp. Touring right now, I think in UK. I think. God, I do not know. I know they're touring. I follow them on Twitter. Shoutouts to Together Through Time. Genuinely one of my favorite albums of all time. Just in case, like, I feel like the love I have for Tenacious T is like the same love I have for Twerp, and that just kind of blends over into NSP. But like, holy shit, I love these guys. They are so cool. They are awesome. Just genuinely some of the best people working in music nowadays, and I mean that wholeheartedly. God bless Twerp.
Not due to the mergers this time. That's a positive change.
I love that. Like, I didn't really realize the joke of First Date at first. Yeah, and like saying the joke out loud, I'm like, oh, that makes sense now. Like the joke is that, oh, it's not because of murder this time. That's the joke. It's because she's too into murder. Oh my god, I forgot. So like, there's a weird bit of NSP lore that I did not go into in this episode that I want to share now. There is like an animated video that played before live shows in I think 2017 that confirmed that the little Dan mannequin, named the Danikin, is canonically what stabs Dan whenever he is quote unquote killed by Ninja Brian. So he like does like a fucking Pokemon substitute move, and he just places himself where the Danikin is, and that's why in the videos it just looks like Brian is beating up a fucking mannequin, and it's like the weirdest fucking piece of lore I know for anything, because it's so obscure. Like, you would not know that unless you fucking read a wiki page. Like, you really wouldn't. And I just remember it because I wasn't there, but like I saw a video of it when it came out, I think, and I was just like, that's very funny. That's gonna be in my memory forever now for no real reason. Oh, here it is. Everybody's favorite joke. Why is Markiplier alive? Why is Markiplier alive? I don't know, let's ask him. Hey, Markiplier. Yeah. I can't do that bit. I can't do that bit. I don't know why I'm trying to do bits in this commentary, but here we are. There's plenty to talk about in this fucking episode. I'm getting parched though. I need some Pepsi. That Karen joke is I like that joke more than a lot of them, to be honest, because it's a continuation of the joke that Dan says in the song where he's like, what's your name? Catherine? or Crystal or something like that. He's like, before the day we meet again, Katie, farewell.
Or Brian's homicide.
Meet your new friend in your gym. Ending with this little message, I think is really apropos for NSP2, because a lot of their songs, at least like their longer ones, which is like about the longer ones are about the lengthiest analysis, if not longer. And like both Mr. Crystal and 6969, and with like the fucking message like, you should fucking love yourself no matter what. You're fucking awesome. Rock fuck. And just ending that with a little bit of positivity, I think is really nice. Because despite being a comedy band, they are like nice dudes, and it's just nice to like have that kind of positivity in the world. And I want to celebrate that. So, also ending this, not ending NSPDs with a song, but ending NSPs with a song was basically just like out of necessity, because Tenacious D has a lot more spoken word stuff due to them having a fucking movie and a show. NSP does not have that, and I wasn't about to include one of their fucking like stupid ass haikus from fucking 2010. All right, I think ending on 6969 for them both is just really nice. Also, this is also, there's so many references in this fucking thing. I think this is also a reference to Inward Singing, because like that skit starts with Kyle snoring, and then Jack's like, "Cage, come here, I want you." So this story basically started because the through line of every good Tenacious D story, which is all of them, is they need to pay the rent. Like every single one starts with that's the call to action every time. Is like they need to pay the rent, and I just think it's funny. So like it would be just funny if I started like that, because it just would be. And like fuck, it's also in character, whatever that means. Like in character, makes sense in universe for it to be that. And this is just weirdly having like Dan and Brian be fucking neighbors out for no reason, just so the crossover can happen. That's me taking creative liberties with the worlds they both live in, because they are congruent with each other. The worlds they live in are congruent. They aren't congruent with each other, obviously, because they've never met. By the way, I want to highlight Shaft as Kyle Gass, Eve for the narration, because they did a great job, especially later on when Satan enters the mix. Satan, by the way, played by himself, really chill dude. And Carrick and Abnett, Raccoon Bro as Danny Sexwing, who absolutely brought the heat with his performance. Truly cannot ask for a better Danny. And it was crazy. I actually got Ninja Brian himself too, and got him in the booth, and he just laid down some super good takes that unfortunately got cut from the final episode. But I want to thank Brian Wax for coming in to Missouri and doing that for me. It's a little weird explaining to my parents why I had a 45-year-old man in our basement recording dialogue for a web show, but gave them both 100 and told them to shut up. I can't keep that bit up any longer. That now is the time that me, as Jack just said, that's supposed to be a reference to Oren. So like it's a sly reference to like what the next episode is, and that's something I want to keep doing as the fights progress. Is like choose specific wordings that like could work in the context of the fight, but also are like doubly referencing something else. And I'm still not set on what episode 3 is gonna be, so I don't know what I'm gonna put in the fight for the man Oren. Even though, to talk about that episode a little bit, the fight is technically fully written. It's just I need to edit it because it has one more character than I want to have in it. because I'm having characters cameo on both sides of the coin there, and I wanted to have I wanted to have to spoil Final Fantasy X. Like, I want to have a Braska, and I want to have Shulk. And the script has Shulk and Ryan, and only Braska, and it kind of feels like Orin is getting shafted because of that. So I want to edit Dumba's ending to only have Shulk. So this Space Minutes bit, I swear I just stole from TFS. I swear to God, because it just makes me laugh every time. I don't know why. It's just stupid that like everybody knows that like, oh yeah, it's been two Space Minutes, idiot. Are you gonna have a fucking space soda? You gonna chill out on your space sofa? And here's Shaft hitting a huge bong, just taking a huge hit, and then there's me taking a huge hit. Can you tell we smoke weed? We don't smoke weed. Like the story for this kind of just wrote itself when I got going because it was just fun. It was just fun. I was just having fun, and when you start writing something fun, it just kind of keeps going and going and going. And like I feel like I have a lot more fun writing episodes like this than more like serious episodes because my brain is a little wackier than it is serious when it comes to writing stuff. So like I'm more more Hitchhiker's Guide than Da Vinci Code, if that makes any sense. Which I would like. I fucking hate the Da Vinci Code. I don't know why I said that. I've never read it. I've read Hitchhiker's Guide though, and I love it. It's just like kind of like weird, like wittiness combined with like stupidity that like draws me into writing stuff, and that combined with like the music of it all. And just makes me a happy little guy. Here's something.
I love you too, JB.
So there's a story behind that. The Antichrist voice. So that's me as the Antichrist. It's also me as Dr. Song, where I just put my voice through like a little filter to like hide it. But the Antichrist thing was because I was showing my friends a rough draft of the entire fight with me doing all the voices. And when I show friends stuff, I don't like showing them just like it going at the normal speed. So I changed the rate at which it plays. So I think I had like 2 times speed. But great delivery from me. But like I changed it to I think like 2 times speed. And on Vegas, when you do that, it speeds up the audio. It pitches up the audio, I mean. So, it just... they all laughed so hard when, like, high-pitched me just said, I love you too, JB. And so they just laughed about that. And I was like... And they were like, you have to keep it like that. I was like, you know what? As an in-joke, I'll keep it like that. Because it's just funny. And here we come to the song, which... It's probably the most complex out of all 4 of them, but it was also the easiest to write because it just kind of came to me when I was like, when I write songs, I wanted to write this song like the way like D would write it. So I started with acoustic guitar, and I came up with this idea that's like definitely been done before, but as a simple like little ditty thing, and I wanted to keep all the songs like close to 3 minutes, so it was definitely something that was intentional of me. Keep it like simple, clean. This idea you're about to hear here, that's interesting. That 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 6 reference to Rock Your Socks. That whole intro is a reference to Kickapoo. But this thing is like, I just love this song, man. Fuck, man. And starting with acoustic guitar, then having the full band come in with that hit. That was definitely in the plan. Also using different setups for the guitars for D and NSP. Because D is definitely more classic rock inspired. so the guitar settings I used are a little lighter, and then for NSP they're a bit more on the heavy side, because the guitars in NSP tend to be a little heavier, just in general. I say that when Tenacious literally has a song called The Metal. Generally, like, I wanted this to kind of feel like, for anybody who knows D, I wanted it to feel like, fuck, what's the song? Low Hanging Fruit. I wanted it to feel like that song. And, like, have, like, kind of, like, just fun, free-flowing, aspect to it. And just kind of, like, go in and out. And, I think I basically improvised, like, most of these lyrics, and just kind of wrote them down after the fact. But I think I improvised a lot of the fucking lyrics on this fucking thing. Definitely for this one, and definitely for the Satan one. And I should say, if it's not Dan's voice, literally everything is me. So I am singing on this one, playing everything on this one. Also wanted to have a Jack solo, because that's something they do, not only in Low Hanging Fruit, but also they have a song called Double Team that they play at the end of all of their live shows, and they have a solo section at the end of that song, and like everybody in the band gets a solo, like starts with drums, bass, no, it starts with guitar, it goes to drums, bass, no, it starts with Kyle, then it goes to electric guitar, then it goes to bass, then it goes to drums, and then it goes Jack, I think. It's been a while since I've seen them play Double Team live. But the general idea is that I wanted to have a solo for Kyle and a solo for Jack. And like, since NSP doesn't do that, really, at least for like, they don't give like Danny solos, I wanted to give a solo for Brian too.
And now, Ninja Sex Party shall commence their song.
This is also the still ever gets me every time.
You always know what to say to get to me.
It's so silly. So yes, I wrote all of them, I recorded all of them, mixed all of them, mastered all of them. The only thing that I didn't do was Danny's vocals, because I felt like if I did both of these guys' vocals, it would be super disingenuous. Also, thank you to Eve for this amazing art. My basic idea was I wanted it to be kind of like a movie. I wanted it to be like a movie poster where like on like one side is NSP with all their backing bands as like little floating heads, and then one side would be D with all their backing band members as floating heads, and just having like the little the blue against orange. Such a nice touch. It's beautiful. I love that art so much. I also helped her a lot with finding references for everybody, because not only are these characters really intricately designed, their designs change constantly, especially Twerp. Twerp has gone through so many iterations that I had to stick with like the most current ones, and I don't even like any of the. I don't like some of the current ones. That's the word. I don't like some of the current ones. I think Lord Phobos is a little like too generic. It's too generic. I don't think it's as busy as I like. I think it could be more busy. Danny, don't you know reference in the lyrics there. And it was a point of contention for me that I wanted to bring up the live action segments, the ways their songs form, and then have like examples of that coming back in later when you actually hear the songs for the fight. And so for D you can hear that because it starts very vocally, and then it like goes into this really harsh rock and roll. And I'm trying to do my best fucking rock and roll vocals for that. And then having this whole like funk section where like I bring up like just offhandedly in the beginning, I'm just like, oh yeah, they do funk too. Anyway, here's this fucking funk section that's gonna have a sick ass fucking synth solo over it. You better be fucking ready. So I'm just listening to this. I love this. Oh, I hit the mic because I was jamming out too hard. Oh, Oh, that's nasty. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's what it's all about, baby. That is literally what it's all about. God. I'm having so much fun just listening to this again, because I haven't listened to these songs in a little bit. It's not nostalgic, because I happen to have listened to these songs probably more than anybody else. The process of making them. And also recording demos and stuff like that, for Carrick, for him to sing over them initially. I might release those demos at some point. But oh my god, guys, it's Satan. So
Appear that Satan himself has
you didn't have to go that extra.
Let's see what happens.
I didn't ask her to do that. That was completely her. So thank you, Eve. So I know, like, some people would be are like a little miffed. In my head, like, I don't know. I know reception of this episode is really positive, and I'm really happy about that. But like in the back of my head, I know there are like some people who like ask themselves the same questions I do, because I try to cover all my bases, and they're just like, why does this episode end this way instead of like a traditional like deciding a winner, and like there's one ending where D's the winner and one ending where NSP's the winner. Since this episode's conception, I wanted it to be the one episode of the series where there's only one ending, and that's because I had such a strong idea for that one ending, and it capitalized on both series, I guess is the right word. All four characters, it capitalized on all four characters so well that I couldn't think of anything else that would like. I didn't want to split up the ending at all, and I also didn't want to like write anything else really, because it was just so strong. And so I was just like, there's no reason for it to have two endings in this case, because the one ending I have is like so strong that there's no reason to rewrite it. And if it's a problem of the system you've created for yourself, you can break the system. Like, there's nobody telling you to do something the way you're supposed to be doing it, especially if you created the system yourself. So I was like, I'm gonna break conventions in this episode because it's a special episode. It's 50 minutes long. It has Satan in it. And I was like, yeah. Once I got the idea for like Satan to come back through like the Bong of Destiny, I was like, that's exactly what this fucking thing needs. It's gonna end. It's gonna be like they compete against each other. D has their song to like highlight the stuff I point out in the analysis, and SB has their song to point out stuff I point out in the analysis, and then the Devil song, which is like a mix of two songs, Beelzebub and Samurai Abstinence Patrol. Samurai Abstinence Patrol might be a little subtler in the mix here, but it's definitely there. Also, I love the name. I didn't come up with this name, Shaft did, but I love the name for the song. It's called Vengeance Boner. Just fucking, it's amazing. And like having the final song be like the two of them combined, and like starting it with fucking acoustic guitar and piano, which like in a lot of cases can sound very cheesy, but in this case, like, it's literally the main instruments of the two guys to the side of the main vocalist. So of course I had to have it start with that, and like have them trade vocals, and like, and D by themselves aren't powerful enough to beat the devil, but with the help of Danny Sexwing and Ninja Brian, they can do anything. Isn't that an uplifting message? And then they all die at the end. Then they all die at the end. What do you want me to do? It's a fictional thing that involves Ninja Brian, known murderer. It would feel disingenuous if I didn't have Brian murder everybody at the end, because like that's what he would do. Into an end. And like having the reason he like starts like paying attention is because he gets fucking threatened directly by Satan, I think is also really funny. Like offhandedly, he like murders a bunch of people earlier in the fucking fight, but like it's kind of like an offshoot joke. It's, then choke on that shows also a really fun line. There's so many fun lines. Don't listen to me. That's a Beelzebub's reference. Listen to me.
Done it before. I can do it again.
All right. In the meantime, let's blow this stupid demon down.
Let's go.
I kind of wanted to say let him say fucker there, but I wasn't sure how comfortable Carrick was with swearing because I know he and Flip are like friends, and Flip was not comfortable swearing at all. So I kind of wrote Danny around having to swear and just kind of let Jack pick up the slack with all the swears, and Kyle too. Let's do a tribute. Like, come on, that's fun. Like, I'm just here. Like, this is good. I think good job. I deserve a gold sticker. There should be a versus award show, and I should win every single one. I should win best costuming, I should win best animation. Oh, that's very silly. This song too was like I was trying to combine like one specific part of the NSP song along with one specific part of the D song, like literally the songs you heard before being smushed together into one. And oh my god, we're nearing the end, aren't we? Yeah, after this song, there's not a whole lot of the fight left, and then it's just it's basically just that talking about the post-fight stuff, and then the trailer. Yeah, that's crazy to think. I'm trying to think if there's anything I haven't said that I want to say. If you can, check out the covers because those did not a whole lot of people checked them out, and I put basically as much effort into the episode itself as I did those covers, and I'm really proud of a lot of them. I would say like most of them. The only one I don't like too much is the first day cover because I forgot to double track the guitars, and that's literally it. Yeah, God, there's not a whole lot else to say. I'm really excited. Just oh yeah, I never talked about. I was talking about the beginning of like how this fucking thing like started in my brain. So for the longest time, in my head, I thought this matchup would be a cool idea as an epic rap battles of history. And like I think I like wrote a version of it when I was like younger too, because like I love the juxtaposition of like the fact that Tenacious D is like fully acoustic, and for a time they were like fully acoustic, and like the same thing that happened with NSP, but they were fully electronic. Like literally their live shows were just Brian, an electronic keyboard, and a laptop, which is like the exact opposite of what Tenacious D was. So it's not only like similarities in like the traditional like duo musician with a comedic edge, like nonsensical storylines being told through song. It always made sense to me. It just made so much sense. And to be able to like finally, after like what must be like at least like 7 years, like write down a fucking like fight between the two, and be able to like write 4 songs that encompass the story I want to tell with this matchup. I'll be honest, it's something I've always wanted to do. Like I've always, back in my head, I've always been a big proponent of this matchup. And like now that I've like written this, I don't know. I feel like I'm content, and that's how I feel about all the Versus Universe episodes, right? Because like no matter what happens, I'm always gonna feel content because I feel like I wrote the fight that I feel fits the characters best, and that's just me. I'm not saying I'm the best writer in the world. I'm just saying I'm my own favorite writer. Is that conceited? I really don't know, but I like the way I write things, and the way I wrote this, I'm super happy with. God, yeah, the fight's over.
So, I know some of you were pretty upset, but
And then I go into basically like why I didn't bother using traditional versus stuff for this episode here. And I feel like this is a good enough place for it, but I don't know, if I were to redo this whole thing, I might have hard maybe, but I might have like put a little thing in the beginning and be like, let's find who can win a battle of the bands, and so people have like that kind of expectation going into this instead of just like kind of throwing them in. I mean, they're clicking on fucking Tenacious versus Ninja Sex Party, so really, I don't know what they're expecting. But you know, I hope this is a gateway to the rest of the series for a lot of people, because this got put a me calling the clone. This probably, including Joker versus Giorno, I have to say, was more than likely the most effort I put into any single one of these fucking episodes, like bar none. And I'm super proud of how it turned out, and I want to thank everybody else involved in the process of making it.
here it is.
So yeah, let's see that trailer. What's next? It's not like I've talked about it extensively in this commentary. Oh my god, that's Dunban over there. That's Dunban from Xenoblade. Dunban from Xenoblade. I guess stay tuned for more commentaries. I'm still currently working on Dunban Horns, so I'm not gonna commentate that one till it's done. By the way, that one's gonna be way shorter than this one, I promise. I swear to God, those analyses are gonna be like 3 paragraphs long. You have my fucking word. I swear to God. If they aren't, you can kill me. You have my legal permission to kill me. Anyway, see you soon. Bye.